It was 7 in the morning. Noakhali District's SP, Officer Lamia Khan, was standing in front of the mirror inside her government residence. But today, she wasn't wearing her shining uniform. Instead, she wore a dirty, torn sari. Her hair was messed up. Her face had no makeup, just a light layer of dust. In her hand was an old cloth bag, and on her feet a worn-out pair of cracked slippers. Lamia Khan had become an SP at just 28 years old. Her father was a retired brigadier general, and her mother had been a schoolteacher. Since childhood, Lamia had seen how honestly her father served the nation. That very lesson inspired her to join the police service. For the last 3 months, Lamia Khan had been working as the SP of Noakhali District. And during these 3 months, she had received many complaints from ordinary citizens. Every complaint pointed to one thing. The police at the stations treated people very badly, especially poor people. The behavior toward them was extremely inhumane. But whenever Lamia went for an inspection, everything looked perfect. Every officer saluted her. All the files were neatly arranged. But she knew it was all a show. The real face was something else. So she made a decision. She would disguise herself as a common citizen and see for herself how the officers under her truly behaved. Lamia called her PA, Asif. Asif had been loyally working with her for 5 years. Asif, today I'm going to meet my mother. I won't return before tomorrow evening. If anyone asks, that's what you'll say. Asif replied, "Yes, madam." But he had no idea where Lamia was actually going or what she was about to do. This was her completely secret mission. Lamia slipped out through the back door of her residence. No official car, no bodyguards. Just her, alone, disguised as a beggar. Around 10 a.m., she reached the main road of Noakhali town. This area fell under Sadar police station. The station was headed by Inspector Abul Kalam, and under him worked Sub-Inspector Zahirul Islam. Most of the complaints she had received were about Zahirul. Citizens said the police behaved horribly with the poor, cruel and disrespectful. Zahirul had become a sub-inspector at just 28 years old. His father was a farmer and his mother had been a housewife. Zahirul saw Lamia walking and raised his hand to stop her. Lamia froze and kept her head lowered. In a harsh voice, Zahirul asked, "Hey, where are you going? What are you doing in this area?" Lamia replied softly, "Sir, my mother is sick. I'm going to see her." Zahirul looked at her from head to toe. Then he gave a mocking smile. "Oh, so you're going to your mother. But do you have permission to beg in this area? Got any papers?" Lamia instantly understood. This was just an excuse. This man's intentions weren't good. She said, "Sir, I haven't broken any law. I was just walking on the road." Hearing that, Zahirul's face turned red with anger. "Oh, now you're going to teach us the law? A beggar lecturing the police?" He glanced at the constable standing beside him, Alam. "She needs to be taught a lesson." Zahirul stepped forward and shoved Lamia hard on the shoulder. "Why aren't you talking? When the police ask something, you should stay quiet and comply. Understand?" Lamia took one step back, but she quickly steadied herself. Anger was clearly visible in her eyes, yet she said nothing. Laughing, Zahirul said, "Look at that look. She still has pride left in her. Just by looking into her eyes, I can tell. I've straightened out plenty of people like her, lost count." Constable Karim stepped forward. "Sir, let's take her to the station. We'll give her proper treatment there. Then she'll understand how to talk to the police." Constable Salam grabbed Lamia's arm and pulled hard. "Come on, get in the vehicle." Lamia jerked her hand free. Then, in a calm but firm voice, she said, "Do not try to touch me. Otherwise the consequences won't be good." Hearing that, Zahirul grew even angrier. He stared at her in disbelief. "What did you just say?" "A beggar is threatening me." He looked at the constables. "Did you hear that? A beggar with this much courage!" Constable Alam stepped forward, snatched Lamia's bag, threw it on the ground, and kicked it. The things inside scattered across the road: an old comb, a few puffed rice snacks, and a small water bottle. Lamia closed her eyes in pain, yet she still didn't reveal her identity. She wanted to see just how low they could sink. Zahirul walked over and stepped on the scattered items. "Acting like some holy saint, huh? I'll turn you into a toy and play with you." He paused for a moment. Then he stepped closer and whispered, "Do you know who I am in this area? The MP is my uncle. His word is the law here. What do you think? If you scream a little, you think anyone can touch me?" Lamia mentally noted everything. This man wasn't just corrupt. He was abusing political power as well. Zahirul smirked. "Let's go to the station. We'll talk more there. I want to see how brave you really are." The police forced Lamia into the vehicle and took her to the station. Inside the vehicle, she quietly looked out the window. Her mind focused on one thing. Today, the true face of this rotten system would be exposed. It took around 15 minutes to reach the station. Sadar Police Station was an old 2-story building. In front stood a large signboard, "Noakhali Sadar Police Station." The building looked worn out, paint peeling off the walls, broken windows. As soon as they walked inside, Zahirul shouted loudly, "Hey, where is everyone? Bring tea and water now! Today we've brought in something special." A havildar came running, saluting him. "Yes, sir, what are your orders?" Zahirul pointed at Lamia. "Put this beggar in the lockup. We'll prepare her case later." The havildar hesitated. "Sir, what's her offense?" Annoyed, Zahirul snapped, "We'll make up the offense later. Just do what I said." Lamia looked around. Posters were hanging on the walls. "Police in the service of the people. Integrity is our highest principle." She gave a bitter smile to herself. These slogans existed only on paper. A constable whispered to Zahirul, "Sir, what case should we file on her?" Laughing, Zahirul said, "Begging or public disturbance, you do whichever you feel like. Just break her pride. Don't ask too many questions." Lamia heard everything. Every word was carving itself into her mind. Zahirul now walked straight up to Lamia and stood in front of her. He sat on a chair, spinning a pen on the table. "Tell me your name. Where do you live? Whose daughter are you?" Lamia stayed silent. Zahirul asked again, "Did you not hear me? What's your name?" But Lamia gave no reply. Her silence felt like a stone wall. Angrily, Zahirul slammed his hand on the table so hard that the sound echoed through the whole station. "Did you not hear me? Say your name, now!" Lamia slowly lifted her face. Then in a calm voice she said, "Salma Khatun." Zahirul looked at her, then laughed. "Oh, so you're a smart one. You know how to lie. But remember, if you try to act too clever, it'll cost you heavily." Lamia heard every word. Each one was carving itself into her mind. They forced Lamia into the lockup. The lockup was a small, dark room. Inside was only one tiny window, covered with iron bars. The floor was wet and smelled awful. In one corner lay a broken bench. 2 women were already inside. One was Rahima, around 50. The other was a young woman named Fatima, about 20 or 22. Rahima looked at Lamia. "Sister, what did you do?" Lamia gave a faint smile. "Nothing. I was just walking on the road." Fatima sighed. "Me too. I went to the market. On the way back they picked me up. Said I was acting suspicious." Rahima shook her head. "This happens every day in this station. Zahirul Sahib catches whoever he wants. No reason needed. Later, If you pay money, he lets you go. Lamia asked, "Doesn't anyone file a complaint?" Rahima gave a bitter smile. "What's the point? His uncle is the MP. Everyone knows no one can say anything." Fatima added, "I heard there's a new SP, a lady officer. People hoped she would change things, but I don't see any improvement yet." Lamia listened quietly. Her heart ached deeply. These people trusted her, yet she hadn't been able to do anything for them. Meanwhile, in his office, Zahirul was drinking tea. Suddenly his phone rang. Seeing the name on the screen, he sat up straight. "Mama." He quickly picked up the call. "Assalamu alaikum, Mama. How are you?" On the other end, MP Rafiqul Haqq's booming voice came through. "Zahirul, there's a party at my house tonight. Some special guests are coming. Make sure everything is arranged." Zahirul nodded, even though it couldn't be seen over the phone. "Yes, Mama. Everything will be taken care of. Don't worry." "And listen," the MP added, "I heard a new SP visits your station sometimes. That woman is a little too honest. Too much honesty can be a problem for us." Zahirul laughed. "Mama, don't worry. Whenever SP Madam comes, we clean everything up. She never suspects anything. And besides, she can't touch you. You're a ruling party MP." Satisfied, the MP said, "Good. Keep it that way. Don't worry about your job. I'm always behind you." When the call ended, Zahirul leaned back in his chair, relaxed. In his mind, he felt untouchable. As long as his MP uncle was around, no one could harm him. It was 3 p.m. Inspector Abul Kalam returned to the station. He had gone to a district headquarters meeting that morning. Abul Kalam was an honest and experienced police officer, around 50 years old. With retirement approaching, he wanted everything to be done by the book. But because of Zahirul's influence, he often had to stay quiet. As he walked into the station, he noticed something unusual. Constables were whispering. Zahirul was walking around with a very pleased look on his face. He called the Havildar. "What happened? Is something special going on today?" The Havildar hesitated. "Sir, a woman was brought in, on Zahirul Sir's orders." A crease formed on Abul Kalam's forehead. "What is her offense?" The Havildar shrugged. "I don't know, sir. Zahirul Sir said he'll make a case later." Abul Kalam understood. The same old game had started again. He walked toward the lockup. Peeking inside, he saw Lamia. At first glance, she looked like a regular beggar, but something about her felt different. There was a sharpness in her eyes. Something no ordinary beggar would have. He asked, "What's your name?" Lamia didn't respond. He asked again, "Why were you brought here?" Again, Lamia remained silent. Abul Kalam's suspicion grew stronger. This woman wasn't ordinary. There was confidence in the way she behaved. He went to Zahirul. "Why did you bring that woman in?" Casually, Zahirul replied, "It's nothing, sir. A street beggar was acting too smart, just giving her a lesson." Abul Kalam spoke firmly. "You can't detain someone without cause, you know that." Zahirul laughed. "Sir, don't worry, I'm handling everything. You get some rest." Abul Kalam could see that Zahirul wasn't taking him seriously, but he couldn't say much. He knew all too well about the MP's power. Still, he decided he would keep an eye on the woman. 6 p.m. lights came on in the station. Lamia was still sitting in the lockup. Rahima and Fatima had fallen asleep. Suddenly, the lockup door swung open. Zahirul walked in, holding a baton. He stopped right in front of Lamia. "Still won't tell me your name?" Lamia remained silent. Zahirul grew angrier. He lifted the baton and pointed it at her. "Remember, in this station I'm the king. What I say is the law. Beggars like you mean nothing to me." Still, Lamia said nothing. There was no fear in her eyes. That angered Zahirul even more. He struck the floor hard with the baton. You'll see. Tomorrow morning I'll teach you a lesson you'll never forget." He stormed out. Rahima had woken up. Terrified, she whispered, "Sister, this man is very dangerous. Just listen to him. Otherwise he'll beat you." Lamia replied calmly, "Don't worry, everything will be fine." The next morning, 10 a.m., suddenly the entire station was in chaos. A large government vehicle stopped outside the station. A constable ran to Zahirul. "Sir, there's a big car outside." Annoyed, Zahirul asked, "Whose car?" The constable stuttered, "Sir, a government car?" Zahirul stood up and went outside. One look inside the car, and his face turned pale. Stepping out was Dig Muhammad Nasiruddin, a strict and honest officer. No recommendation or influence worked on him. The Dieg walked into the station, 2 PSOs following behind. Zahirul hurried to salute. "Sir, you? If you told us earlier, we would have prepared." The Dieg cut him off. "No preparations needed. I came to see what was happening here." He looked around and then asked, Who is in the lockup?" Zahirul panicked. "Sir, nothing, just 2 or 3 simple cases." The Dieg himself walked toward the lockup. He peeked inside. When he saw Lamia, his eyes widened a little. He stared at her with full attention. Then he asked her directly, "What is your name?" And for the first time Lamia spoke. She said in a calm but firm voice, "SP Lamia Khan." There was pin-drop silence in the station. Everyone's face turned pale. Zahirul's hands and legs began to shake. The constable stood there, stunned. Dig Muhammad Nasiruddin looked at Lamia. Now he understood why, yesterday evening, he had received a message from an unknown number. "Come to Noakhali Sadar police station tomorrow morning. Important." He ordered the Havildar, "Open the lockup." Lamia stepped out. Her torn sari, messy hair, everything was the same, but now her eyes shined with a different kind of intensity. She looked at Zahirul. "Sub-Inspector Zahirul Islam." Zahirul was trembling. He couldn't say anything. Lamia said, "Yesterday you pushed me on the road. You scattered all my things. You dragged me to the station without reason and locked me up. You tried to frame me in a false case." Shaking, Zahirul said, "Ma'am, I didn't know you were Lamia." She stopped him. "That's the problem. You did all this because you didn't know. But if I really had been an ordinary beggar, then what would have happened?" Zahirul stood with his head down. Lamia continued, "You told me the MP is your uncle, and with his power you can do whatever you want. Fine. Now, let's see if your uncle can save you." The news spread fast. By noon, MP Rafiqul Hake arrived at the station. He was furious. He went straight to the Dig. "What is going on here? Why did you arrest my man?" The Dig replied calmly, "Sir, your nephew insulted an SP officer and illegally detained her without reason. This is a serious offense." The MP shouted, "I am an MP! My word is the law here. None of you can do anything to me." At that moment, Lamia stepped forward. She spoke in a calm but hard voice. "Sir, you may be very powerful in this area, but no one is above the law." The MP looked at her. "So you're going to lecture me? Just because you're a woman in uniform, you think you become someone important?" Lamia smiled slightly. "I'm not just a police officer, I'm the SP of this district, and I am informing you that your nephew Zahirul will face a departmental case. He will be suspended." The MP threatened, "You have no idea who you're going up against. I'll make sure you lose your job." Lamia replied, "You can try. But remember, my father taught me that when you stand for the truth, you don't have to fear anyone." The Diag stepped between them. "Sir, it would be better if you leave. Proper action will be taken." The MP left angrily, grumbling under his breath. Zahirul was immediately suspended. A departmental case was filed against him. Along with that, a criminal case was also filed for abuse of power, attempting to create a false case, and insulting a senior officer. Rahima and Fatima, who were in the lockup, were released. There were no cases against them. Inspector Abul Kalam came to Lamia and said, "Ma'am, I suspected from the beginning that something was wrong, but I couldn't do anything." Lamia replied, "You are a good person, I understand that. But honesty can't stay only in the mind. It has to be shown through action. If you had spoken up earlier, maybe many innocent people wouldn't have suffered." Abul Kalam lowered his head. "You're right, ma'am. I made a mistake." In the evening, Lamia returned to her government residence. Her PA, Asif, looked at her in shock. "Ma'am, are you okay? Your clothes." Lamia smiled. "Asif, today I learned a lot. I saw with my own eyes how much ordinary people suffer." She walked to the window and stood there. Outside, the evening lights were slowly coming on. She silently made a promise to herself. In this district, no innocent person would ever face injustice again. Whatever she had to do, she would do it. The next morning, she sent an instruction to every police station. Every arrest must be properly recorded. No one can be detained without reason. Every officer must behave respectfully with the public. Any complaint would come directly to her. The news spread quickly. Ordinary people finally saw a ray of hope, and corrupt officers like Zahirul understood that things would no longer continue the old way. A new SP had arrived, one who was truly devoted to the law. MP Rafiqul Haq tried many things against Lamia, but the DG and other senior officials stood by her because they all knew she had done the right thing. Eventually, even the MP had to face an inquiry committee. Allegations were raised that he used the police to oppress ordinary people. Lamia Khan proved that real leadership is not about sitting in an office. Real leadership is stepping into the field, seeing the truth with your own eyes and solving the problems yourself. She showed that even as a woman standing alone, it is possible to resist the powerful, if you have courage and remain honest. The story ends here, but Lamia's fight continued. Every day, every moment she stood by the people, and she kept that torn sari with her to remind herself that power can blind people, but truth always wins. Friends, this story is completely fictional. None of the characters or events are related to real life, so please enjoy it as a story only. And if you like this kind of story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Story Couché. Tell us in the comments how you like the story and what kind of stories you want to hear in the future. Your feedback is very important to us.